Alrighty, so today I want to talk about something that's been popping up a little bit in my brain here, and I've been just kind of thinking about all the times that I went into dungeons and people wanted to do dungeon skips, and I totally understand it from the heroic standpoint, right? You want to skip the dungeons and complete them quickly, because really the only thing you care about in a heroic is typically killing the 3 bosses or 4 bosses and getting your heroic badge loot, right? Now, that's all fun and games until you have somebody come along and say, hey, I don't know how to do this skip. Like, let's take heroic slave pens, for example. If you have somebody that runs in and they don't know that, like, when you do the crab boss or the lobster, whatever you want to call it, uh, you kill the crab boss and then you try and jump up the wall, and you skip the big nasty pack with the nether ray and the 4 other elites. That's usually a pretty terrible pack that people do want to skip. You could also mind soothe a lot of the trash in there. Usually heroic slave pens is like a quick 3 badges that you can get within like 20 minutes. But yeah, so let's kind of talk about that. Because if you've been running dungeons lately, you probably felt it exactly what I'm talking about. You join a group, nobody really said anything in the beginning. Suddenly half the group is trying to jump off some ledge or hug a wall, and they're trying to do some weird pathing to skip the mobs, which is okay. I think skips are good. I totally agree with doing them. If the group is not on board for that, however, I think it creates a weird, almost like animosity in the group, and I've seen it happen before in random heroics I've joined. But I think it's honestly, it's not a problem with the skips. The skips aren't the problem. I think the big problem is the communication about doing these said skips. And I actually saw a forum post talking about it too, so we're gonna look at that in a second here. But anyways, yeah, if you guys are new around here, stay true around here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Please smash it up. And I appreciate everything that you guys have been doing. You guys have been helping out. We are nearing 2,400 subscribers, which is crazy to think that I was at like 2,100 about a month and a half ago when I started posting these discussion type videos. So appreciate each and every one of you. Let's dive right in. Alrighty, so this is the one I saw. It was from a little while ago, but I did want to talk about it now. Dungeon skips are stupid. This guy, NSEF, says, I don't want to wander on the edge of a dungeon and try to jump over and through things. I just want to play my class and kill the things. This is so frustrating. I do great DPS, but it doesn't matter. Everyone wants to do the skips. It doesn't matter if you're good at the game. You have to learn the skips or you don't get to play. It's stupid. Wipes are common in these skip groups, and then you have to try again to skip all of the mobs you didn't kill. Like I said, I don't agree with that. I think dungeon skips are good, but I do think it should be talked about before, like prior to joining the group, when you join the group, and you could say, hey, is this a skip group? Are we pulling all trash? Is this a rep run? You know, I usually make those things specific, and I will tell someone flat out when I invite them, hey, this is what the group's for. If you don't want to do this, that's fine, but we're gonna pull 2 bosses and then, you know, reset. Like when I was doing the lower city rep grind, I made sure I told everyone what we were doing. I made sure I told them we were going to the second boss and then resetting for rep. But like, as you can read on here, this guy Bloom says, communicate with the group prior to engaging in the dungeon to clarify whether they plan to complete a full run or to merely skip the run. That's like what I'm trying to say. You got to communicate, guys. I think it's a big problem on a lot of people's ends, because communication is key, and if you're not communicating in WoW, especially in an MMORPG, like, there's a bigger issue there than if you're not communicating with people you're about to, like, think about it. You're about to jump in a dungeon group, a heroic dungeon group that you can only do once a day. That heroic that you're trying to do is on a daily lockout, right? Why would you waste your time if it's something that you don't want to do and you don't want to do a skip run? Then I think that should be communicated beforehand, so you guys are all on an even playing field, and you could talk about it and say, look, I don't want to do this. I'm going to get a different group. I'm going to tank this dungeon on my druid. And you know what? I don't want to do any skips. I want to plow through it. I want to see how tanky I really am. I want to test out my tankiness on all these trash mobs. You know, I think that's fine. I think communicating is a big key in this game for sure. I wholeheartedly agree. Unfortunately, DPS is easily replaceable, so there's little to be done about it for me. This was a thing back then. Stealth heroics were quick and easy. If you were druid/rogue, and skipping for now is great. Okay, that was weird. There will be a time with enough gear that skipping will take longer than just whacking everything as you go. I hate the now mandatory skip on SP, that's what we were just talking about, slave pens, where you have to jump backwards to get to the other side. That's the big one, yes. That skips a very nasty pack if you don't want to fight the big big pack with the nether ray. I just go die in the water and ask them to res me or provide an invisibility potion for that, or summon, but it shouldn't be a mandatory skip, and groups need to stop kicking players who can't do a mechanic that isn't supposed to be there in the first place. But that's what I was trying to say. Like, it is if the group talked about it beforehand and you said, yeah, I'm fine with doing the skip, and then the skip comes along and you don't know how to do it and you can't complete it, that technically would be on you. If the group all agreed that you guys were going to do the skip and you went into that group knowingly or willfully knowing, hey, we're going to do this skip, then I think that is warranted. I think it's fine for those people to, not to kick you, but I mean to be like, hey, you know, you said you could do this skip. What's going on, man? Most of these stupid skips are slower than just killing the mobs, and in places like heroic sleep pens. Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. Sometimes these skips actually aren't faster, because if you have someone like, I know in sleep pens, when you go and you run across the bridge and you're about to jump down to get to the crab boss and you skip in a couple packs. I think you skip 3 packs or 4 packs instead of going along the entire bridge, and then jumping into the water and then pulling, I think it's like 2 or 3 of those trash packs before you get to that boss. That does save you. I think it saves you maybe 3 to 5 minutes. The difference, I would say the difference would be, it's probably about 5 minutes. And if someone does die or they miss the water jump and you don't have a warlock to summon them, now you're kind of in, you're going to be waiting probably at least close to like 10 minutes. So that would kind of hinder the whole skip. That would just basically negate the skip entirely. So sometimes it's not worth it to do these skips. I do understand that too. Sometimes skips are a little bit slower. And yeah, I think, but that should be noticed. You'll notice right away what skips are worth it and what skips aren't. I think doing heroic slave pens and getting that done in under 20 minutes with doing all the skips, it does make it a lot better. You know, you bring a priest to do the mind soothe, and you could skip a lot of the trash in heroic SP. So I think that is a good thing to point out. Bringing the right group also is very helpful in heroics. You guys know if you've been running them, you kind of want to bring a similar comp. You want to bring like a mage, a rogue. Warlocks are nice too. Seed obviously is good. You definitely want a paladin. I've seen in every group you pretty much want a pally all the time, because salvation, you want salve 100%. Like, salve is basically needed in these heroics, because if not, your melee will most likely pull and die instantly. And you know, if you don't have a mage to slow everything, or a hunter with ice trap or frost trap or whatever, you know, then you're going to have a problem with that too. Yeah, I don't know. If you, like I said, I am on board with the skips. I've done them when I needed to do my heroics. Here, let's go back to WoW here. I've done them. Some of them are worth it to get the quick badges. Some of them aren't. It's all up to the players themselves to decide which ones they want to do and which ones they don't want to do. But basically, I am all for these skips. I think it's good. I don't think dungeon skips are stupid or trash like that guy said. Like I said, I just agree with it, and I think it is good to do them, but you should communicate, because that is a big problem I'm noticing in TBC. Y'all get messages when I'm on my healer. They'll be like, Kara? Like, or they'll randomly say something to you like SP ? And you're like, are we doing, is it a heroic slave pens? Are we doing a regular? Like, what's going on? Do you want me to heal? Do you want me to tank it? Do you want me to DPS? Because I could do all of those. I don't care. But yeah, it's a little weird when you're on a hybrid class and you get that message. You don't know what it's for, what you're queued, like if you're queued as a DPS, you don't know if they want you as a DPS or they're asking if you're a healer. That does happen sometimes too, but I don't know. That's just kind of something to add at the end of this video here. But this is going to wrap it up, guys. Hope you did like this video. If you did, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next time I post one. And I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.